Hey everyone, Dave here with Affordable Door and Gate. I hope you're doing well. So one of you reached out to me via text, and I want to read this and discuss this a little bit. I just watched your last video. It was a good one. Did you ever have doubts or struggle to decide on whether to hire help or opposed to staying a one-man shop? I like the low key and profit of being one guy, but I'm 53 and maybe I won't be able to do this till I'm 85. Is the struggle of building out business with multiple techs and office staff worth it? Great question. Let's get into it. So I have to start off with, this is 100% my opinion. And like I said, every shoe doesn't fit. You know what I mean? So I'd like to hear your guys' insight on this. I'd really, really like to see your guys' comments because honestly, I'm going to struggle on the one-man band. You know what I mean? I've never done it. I never really thought about it. I even, I made a list and I had a really hard time even putting it down. I could not think of the things. And I'd love to hear your guys' comments on just your thoughts as we kind of go into this video, because like I said, it never crossed my mind and it still doesn't cross my mind. So let's get into it. So I think I kind of fell into, with a business partner, I had more leverage, right? Because there's two of us. So we always kind of were 50-50, right? Residential and commercial. Back when the 07, the 08 crisis happened, basically the recession, our commercial kept going. Well, with commercial, you typically always got to have two guys. Bigger springs, bigger doors, safety, a watchman, a fireman, all these kind of different things. So I think I was always kind of ingrained that I had to be with another person in the business, because there was times that we also had to split and put out multiple fires. So that was kind of always ingrained into me. But it was one of those things I never had the feeling where I always wanted to do it alone. So the one thing I know I fell short of is a secretary. I definitely would have hired a secretary a lot sooner than I did. In business, as you know, you wear multiple hats. I remember the struggles of, trying to answer the phone and being on the road and pulling off the side of the road, to try to get rid of the road noise. And also it's illegal now here in Michigan, and it's a distraction. So it's really not safe for yourself. Typically you can't provide your customers with really good service, you know what I mean? Because you're not in the right frame of mind, you know what I mean? So I tried every earpiece there was, every headset, semi-truck headsets, everything I could to drown out the noise. Job sites were the worst. You'd be out there and people, your employees are still walking up to you, asking you questions. They don't realize you got your headset down or whatever, an earpiece in, and it's like, hey, you try to go to the vehicle, but then sometimes they're popping out of the building, still looking for you. Hey, where's he at? Where's he at? Oh, there he is. And it's sometimes the customers, right? Customers always came up at the wrong time. They're asking the employees certain things and they're looking for you, right? You look like you're not doing nothing, like you're just sitting in the vehicle, drinking coffee, having a grand old time. So I think as business owners, we have a lot on our plate, right? And we have to decide. And like I said, this is more or less my opinion, my thought process. So when I was building the business, right, you can see this picture right here. Here's a garage door. This is actually one of my jobs I took a picture of with an older phone. So I apologize. The quality is not the best, right? But we've gotten better over the years. I could not believe when I pulled up to this. I said, are you kidding me? A box truck ran into this thing and the door is upside down, inside out. Does it get any worse than this? And these were the things that I didn't want to have to always tackle myself. This was a job that happened, I think, right about 3 o'clock in the morning. I got a phone call. It was not too far away from the house at the time where I was working. I went down there and I said, are you kidding me? Right? And now you're committed. You can't stop. You got to keep going. Right? I had no idea. They didn't send me no pictures. I probably didn't ask. Maybe the phones weren't that, big back then. So what are you going to do? What's kind of what's going to be your outcome, right? You always got to remember in business, kind of what's going to be your exit. One thing I know about, one thing I wish I knew better about was good quality people. You don't want people that lie. You don't want people that are selfish. You need good men, good women, people that have good hearts. That is one of the biggest things for your business if you're going to scale out. Because realize that when you run a business that you scale out, you are opening up your house. You are opening up your gate into your property. And now you have to trust that person just like a wife, like a husband, like whatever, you know what I mean? Because they're going to be in stuff, right? And you always have to remember, right? They're coming to your house. And you're not going to their house, right? You're not going to their house to steal stuff out of their garage or anything like that. And you need people that are just honest. Surround yourself with good people. You know what I mean? And that is one thing I wish I would have known earlier. I was getting people that just had experience, right? That seemed like they knew what they were doing. And some of them had even more years of experience than I did. It didn't matter because the experience don't mean nothing while they're robbing you out the back door. So there is some pros and cons, but like I said, if you surround yourself with good people, you don't have to worry about them stealing behind your back. You don't have to worry about everyone, being in your business. They want you to succeed. They want you to do good because they know if you do good, they're going to do good, right? They want to be around like-minded people. I think some of it comes down to your pain threshold. Is really what it is. One thing I've learned about this world, this life, this universe that we're in, everything is your mind. Think about how many things you manifest in your life. You're probably married to a girl, right? Or you're maybe married to a husband, right? Maybe you got some kids. I hate to tell you, but you manifest that, right? You fell in love, right? Maybe you didn't fall in love, you divorced, separated, whatever. You manifest that. Everything in life is pretty much what you manifest. If you're big into sports, you're probably not going to miss that sports game, are you? So you have to think about these things. How much time and how much energy and how much are you willing to put into it? Because what you put in is what you get out. And you have to remember, you'll keep repeating the same thing until you learn otherwise, until it beats you up enough where you go, you know what, I ain't going to do this anymore. This is stupid. So I don't think there's a really magic pill for this stuff. I know for myself, you got to think about it like you want to build something. You want to build something that is a package. And what I mean with that is with a package, right? I wanted a business, right? I wanted a location. I wanted a property that's separate. I've had some really good mentors in my life. I still got a few that are really super good too. And I appreciate every one of them. But you got to remember, right? Like he was telling me one time, one guy, he said, are you going to, with this business, are you going to have them come to your house? Are you going to sell your house with the business? I said, no. And he goes, that's what I'm trying to explain to you. What are you going to build, right? What are you building that's something that can be ran without, he says, if you're not there, you're going to still have people come into your house? So there's a lot of layers to this. And that's why I really enjoy real estate. I love property. I love rentals. I love flipping. I love all that stuff because I love that it's a parameter, right? It has property lines. It's a box on a piece of paper. It's a building, right? It's its own entity, right? So this thing, right? They're not coming to my house. They're coming to a separate building, right? Now I got to remember, I've been in the business for 18 years. 18 years. I don't think I'd recommend it, honestly, to go through it all again. I'm glad I'm happy where I'm at. I'm glad I'm here helping you guys. I'm glad I'm still learning. I'm glad I'm still getting to be in the business and still play around with stuff. But with society, the way I see employees going, the way I see the government's working against you, the way I see vendors not giving a rat's hiney about product, quality control, fuel prices that you can't control. You estimated something a month ago, right? And fuel prices have doubled. And right now, insurance is getting just out of hand. You know what I mean? I like stuff that's a little more controlled. I don't like things that are so volatile. And the problem is yes, you can make a lot of money, right? But there's a lot of money you lose too, behind the scenes. You got somebody stealing from you. You got somebody who thinks the scrap metal's theirs. You think somebody's grandparents or whatever is more important than yours or not. The biggest thing is always asking, right? One thing I struggled with was delegating. As I've gotten older, delegating is really easy to me. You have to almost have like a mindset. I know this sounds weird and selfish and stuff, but like Donald Trump, right? He doesn't fuel the airplane. He doesn't pilot the airplane. He doesn't drive the car, right? He doesn't make the food. You can't run a restaurant by yourself, right? You can't be the waitress. You can't be the bus boy. You can't be, the greeter at the front door. You can't answer the phones. You can't take care of the paperwork behind the scenes. So for me, I've always been intrigued and challenged, right? I wanted to challenge myself. And there's a lot of things I've learned. It opens up such a big avenue when you hire people. Workman's comp, insurance, the problems you run into. But all I can say, the biggest thing is look at the character. A good character, do a lot of reference on them. You know what I mean? Check up on them. Drugs. Drugs were a big problem. Any kind of drugs. Alcohol is a drug that too much of alcohol, they come in the next day, they're sloppy. Those things can add up. So watch the drugs. You know what I mean? Probably if it was me, I'd have them tested. If you're starting out, it's the best maybe a couple $100 you could spend for them to do a test. It's nicer too when you're older. If you guys are young and starting out in this, you're screwed. I mean, no, I can't say that for sure, but it's really hard to control older people, right? It's like trying to teach an old dog new tricks. It just typically doesn't happen. There's resentment. So if you're young, it's really tough. If you're older, I'd say probably in the 40s, 35, 40s, 50s, higher, it's easier, right? Because you have the wisdom, you have the knowledge. You're not so easy to break down. You got the thicker skin, you got the calluses. So just keep that in mind. Okay, so kind of in summary, right? I don't think there's really a right or wrong way to do it. Obviously, you got to provide for your family, right? You got to put food on the table. But I think remember, life is like a vehicle, right? And remember, like when you get on the highway, right? When you're going on a trip and that, you know where the exit's going to be. Now, us men, we screw it up and we miss it a couple times, right? But you're generally going to get off still in the right city, is what I'm trying to say. You just don't drive around the whole country in a circle, right? So you always have to think about life, business, everything is kind of that scenario. What's going to be kind of my exit plan? You got to keep that stuff in mind. Right here is a good crew of guys I had, right? They're good guys. A couple of them, yeah, they chiseled me. I ain't going to lie. But don't be afraid. There is hurdles and there's ways to do it. There's subcontractors, employees. As it stands, with Affordable Door and Gate, I am so blessed with some really great people. And yeah, I had to go through 5, 6, 7 people, to find that one good person. But I found out the ones that had good characteristics, the ones that were honest, the ones that I don't have to chase around and always have that gut feeling. Why is that doesn't add up? And like I said, it's to everyone. I won't find out today. I might not find out tomorrow. I might not find out a month, a year, whatever. I will find out because unfortunately, humans like to talk and it gets around eventually, in divorces and separations and fights, whatever. And the truth will eventually come out of what's going on. So that's why you always just want to do the right thing, be honest, be, faithful, just do the right thing. Don't play games. You know what I mean? And it will take you a lot farther in life. Think about trust. Think about how long it takes you to build trust with somebody, and all in one swoop, right? You crush it. All that years or whatever, you crush it, right? My uncle's always told me, he used to tell me, he says, Dave, he says, people always remember the bad, but people don't remember the good. I think there's definitely some merit to that. So like I said, guys, I would love to hear your guys' comments. I really, really thrive on them because it just opens up my mind, because sometimes I can be really narrow focused. And I think, like I said, in kind of conclusion, it's what your pain threshold is. And trust me, employees, especially the wrong employees, can add tremendous heartache and pain to your business. There's no doubt about it. But if you do enough vetting, right? What is it? Slow to hire, quick to fire. They can be a huge help. They can be a huge blessing. You can work as a team. I personally would not want to go back to a one-man band. I couldn't have asked for it better. You know, I basically got early retirement, but like I said, there's faster ways to do it because it took 18 years. And I guess you'll just have to stick along if you want to learn how to do it. So anyways, take care, guys. Thank you for being here. Become a subscriber. Hit that like button if you don't on your mind on your way out. Otherwise, I hope you guys have a wonderful day. I'm happy you're here. God bless you all. Take care. We'll see you on the next one. Bye.